After careful deliberation, we've adopted the following additional measures. First, on November 27, 2 weeks ago, we placed restrictions on all indoor gatherings of no social gatherings indoors, plus a limit of 10 people for outdoor gatherings. But as of today, we are banning all outdoor social gatherings, period. Also, effectively, immediately, we are expanding the mask mandate to apply to all indoor places and indoor workplaces throughout the province, with an exception for farm operations and people who live in rental homes. As we've said since the beginning, masks can be an effective tool in reducing transmission. The vast majority of Albertans have done the responsible thing through voluntary use of face coverings, and we see that increasingly across the province. But we are at a point where everyone has a civic duty to do their part. The following public health orders will be effective as of December 13th at 12:01 a.m. Firstly, retail services must limit their shoppers to 15% of fire code capacity, down from the current 25%. This will apply to retail stores and grocery stores, but also to shopping malls. Food court kiosks can remain open, but only for takeaway service. We will provide shopping malls with additional guidance, but the bottom line is this: malls must be limited to commercial visits by customers, not be used as a place to hang out or socialize with friends. Secondly, in-person attendance at places of worship is also being reduced to 15% of the fire code occupancy. Mandatory use of masks, physical distancing, the prohibition on related post-worship social activities, and other restrictions will continue to apply. Where they can, faith communities are encouraged to move to online or drive-in services, and these measures continue to reflect Alberta's best effort to balance enumerated constitutional rights with the critical life-saving public health imperative. All restaurants, bars, lounges, and cafes will move to takeout or delivery service only. And let me pause to say that since the most recent restrictions, the curfew, the limitation to household groups, many restaurant and similar operations have told us that they've closed because they cannot pay their own bills right now. This will allow them to fully access federal supports and provincial supports as we get through the difficult following weeks. A number of services will also be closed for the duration of these measures. That includes entertainment facilities, places like casinos, bingos, raceways, libraries, museums, theaters, and private clubs will be closed. Trade shows and conference centers will be closed. Indoor recreation facilities, including fitness centers, gyms, pools, and skating rinks, will be closed, as will personal and wellness services, which include salons, barbers, nail salons, massage, tattoo, and piercing studios. It is important to note that allied health services like physio, dentistry, social services, emergency shelters, and childcare will remain open as previously outlined. This importantly includes addiction counseling and group meetings, as well as residential addiction treatment centers. Some outdoor recreation sites may continue, such as outdoor skating rinks and ski hills. Alberta Health will work with operators to develop plans to avoid crowding and maintain safety measures. Hotels can also remain open, but will have to close pools, fitness centers, related services, and restaurants. And finally, we are announcing, and this is very important, we are announcing that all Alberta employees must work from home unless an employer requires a physical presence for operational effectiveness. This is moving from a recommendation from 2 weeks ago to a legal requirement as of this Saturday. There are no further changes to schools beyond what was announced on November 27th. So that basically means that K-6 students will remain in their classes until the Christmas break, and grades 7 to 12 will continue to work from home. Masking requirements have not changed for schools, nor has the January 11th date for resumption of in-person learning. Once again, these new restrictions are effective this coming Saturday at midnight, that is to say December 13th at 12:01 a.m., 4 days from now. This gives businesses time to prepare for an orderly adoption of these public health orders. These measures will be in effect for at least 4 weeks, and they will apply province-wide. It has always been our preference to take a regionally targeted approach, but we have concluded, regrettably, that that is not a viable option right now. In fact, 97% of Albertans live today in a local geographic area with more than 50 active COVID cases per 100,000 population, and that was our key threshold. The virus is spreading at an alarming rate in every region of the province, and many of those who fall ill in rural areas do end up being cared for in the increasingly hard-pressed large urban hospitals. So the bottom line is that we must have a coordinated province-wide approach now. 4 weeks from now, we will assess our progress, and if we can safely return to less stringent restrictions in areas of lower transmission, we'll happily do so then. Let me say a word about Christmas. For many of us, I suspect for most Albertans, Christmas is the most important time of the year. It's the symbolic heart of family life and of treasured memories. And Lord knows we all need the loving presence of family and friends at the end of this terrible year now more than ever. But here is the hard truth. Clearly, the biggest single source of viral transmission is at-home gatherings. It's when we let our guard down. It's when we relax with people that we are close to, and it's when transmission most easily happens. And so if we relax the public health measures to permit large family gatherings in just 3 weeks' time, we will, without a shadow of a doubt, see a large increase in hospitalizations and fatalities. We simply cannot let this Christmas turn into a tragedy for many families. And so with great reluctance, we are asking Albertans to limit their holiday gatherings to the members of their household or to too close contacts for people who live by themselves.